Space, the final frontier. My name is Captain Foley, and these are my adventures. Captain's Log, Stardate 201603.24. Welcome back, guys. I am Captain Foley, and it is time for another Captain's Log. So, thank you guys for tuning in. As always, I just wanted to say that you guys are awesome, and again, I got a lot of great comments to my last video. We're going to look at those in a minute. But firstly, there's a few things I want to talk about. First of all, is this beautiful piece. I got to thank my friend Michael Freitas again for giving me this. This is the Bandai NX01 Enterprise, which I built. It's got the lighting in there. It's really beautiful. Awesome model. Thank you, Doug Drexler, for designing it. I was never originally a fan of this ship, and there's some angles where it just looks odd, but there's some angles where it looks beautiful as well. So thank you for that. That's going to be in the background of this video. It's going to be hard to see, but I wanted to share it with you guys. So hopefully you can see it all right back there. Anyway, that's the first thing. Second thing is, Commander Calkins has been doing the Commander's question and answer, which has been amazing. He does a great job answering your questions. He makes me look bad on a regular basis, you know, dressing up last time in a suit and tie. I know he's going through all of his costumes, and it's kind of like his Men in Black Section 31 kind of, you know, special outfit. But really, you make me look bad, Samuel. But one of the things that was brought up that I kind of agree with is we need a new name for Commander's Q&A. It just doesn't work. Something like Commander's Corner, Commander's Log. I don't know, something. You guys give me suggestions, give him suggestions. Let's get a good name that actually suits what he's doing. I know it's a question and answer period, but still, Commander's Q&A just doesn't work for me. So, Samuel, this is an order from your captain. We need to change that, and we want all of your help to decide on a name for that. So, that's the first thing. Next thing is the Protector, NSEA Protector episode is filmed. It's finished. It's not edited together yet. It will be soon. So the Trekyards episode 2 is on the way. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be awesome. Another thing, Trekyards originals. We've got 2 on the go right now. One is the USS Shangri-La, which was done by Bill Krause, and he's a great, talented model builder. He actually won the Star Trek model group contest last summer on Facebook. And part of the win was to have a Trekyards episode dedicated to his ship. We've already done all the 4 runners-up in the Fan Design Mission Briefings episodes. So you've already seen the runners-up. The Shangri-La episode is, I just finished draft 1 of the script yesterday. I sent it off to Samuel. He's got to do some additions, tweaking, and refinement, and then he sends it back to me. So we've talked to Bill Krause. Bill Krause is likely going to be joining us on screen to introduce the ship. And you're probably asking, that was last summer, why did it take so long? Well, because we had a lot of stuff we wanted to share with you guys and get out there, and plus we had to get a 3D model of the ship built so Samuel could do renders for it. So that's finally been built and finished, and now we can go ahead with the episode. So that'll also be coming very soon. We also have another one on the go. I'm not going to say the name of the ship or anything because I haven't started writing the script yet. I know the name of the ship. We've talked to the designer. We've got a bunch of really cool facts for that one. I'm probably going to start that later today or this weekend sometime. And we have a few things lined up for next week that Samuel and I have to film. So it's going to be a busy week next week. We also have... I'm still waiting on my uniform that you guys graciously helped me get. You donated to acquire me a TNG uniform for our first 50th anniversary ship, and that script is also written, ready to film. As soon as my uniform comes in, we're basically going to film that, and that'll be in the next couple of weeks is when it's coming out as a Saturday release. It's going to probably be a 3-parter. So that's something that's exciting. It's our first 50th anniversary special, and it's on an amazing ship. Also, Wonderfest is coming up. If you guys recall, last year I went to Wonderfest, which is a model building kind of sci-fi convention in Louisville, Kentucky. So if any of you are attending, I will be there this year. At least that's the plan so far. We've got last year I had a lot of fun, had a great time. Go with a bunch of friends of mine from my model building group. And last year was my first year. I intend to go again this year. Hopefully John Eves will be there, and Rick Sternbach was there last year. So Trekyards will have an appearance there this year, and so Bill Krause will also be there, the creator of the Shangri-La. He's working on a new ship this year called the USS Sentinel, which is a TOS ship, and it's an amazing looking ship. It's almost finished, but it'll be ready for Louisville, Kentucky, which is the first weekend in June, which is right after my birthday. I think we probably leave on the day of my birthday or around there. Last year we were on the road. I think we left the day of my birthday last year, May 28th. So, it's going to be a fun time. So if you're in Louisville, Kentucky, or you're going to Wonderfest, you will be seeing me there because I will be attending. So, not much of a celebrity or anything, but if you want to meet me, that's where you do it. I also, as you can see here, I've got my Batman figure, my armored Batman figure, and my Captain Phasma. I recently picked these up. These are some of the ones I've really been looking forward to. I intend to do product reviews on these figures very shortly. Since they're new, they're kind of sitting here. I thought I'd include them in the Captain's Log. I'm going to see the movie tonight. It is Thursday. It is an early screening, but I'll see it tonight. I'll hopefully be doing a spoiler-filled review and a spoiler-free review for you guys if you're interested. So that's another thing to stay tuned for. Samuel and I also were discussing doing a few new podcasts. We haven't done podcasts in a while because we haven't hit our Patreon goals for that. But the podcasts are nice because they're unscripted. They're kind of just a conversation between this commander and myself. And we've got a few topics we might like to talk on. And so there might be more podcasts coming soon. We haven't really decided yet. I haven't really run it by Samuel. We've kind of discussed it briefly, but I think it's something that you guys would really enjoy because it's basically just him and I having a conversation. So you really learn a lot from that. So stay tuned for that as well. There's a lot to stay tuned for in this one. Now the Trekyards.com, I don't know if you've been there. It's not exactly the way we'd want it set up, and it doesn't get updated as often as we'd like. But we plan on moving that website. It'll still be Trekyards.com. You don't have to worry about the website address. But we plan on revamping the website very soon. And we're going to be including a store element to it in the next couple months, hopefully. We've already asked you guys in a poll on the Trekyards page if you guys would buy a shirt or whatever. And you guys, 176 of you last time I looked had said yes. That's great. We're going to actually come up with some product samples to post on the site so you guys can get a look at what we're offering. So you can be more educated when you say that you would or you would not buy. Because a lot of people have said, well, what's it going to look like? So we're going to have a few of those available soon that you guys can check out and we can get your feedback on and know where we can go with that. I've also got a few things in the works product-wise that are going to be very cool, but I can't really say much right now. Because it's not just going to be shirts and hats and patches. I got a few other things in the works. Plus, I have a great idea for a Trekyards giveaway, finally. I'm getting somebody to make something that's exclusive to Trekyards, and it's going to be a one-of-a-kind thing, and one of you guys is going to win it. I don't know exactly how the contest, what it's going to be about yet, but it's going to be an amazing giveaway for you guys, and it'll be one of a kind. You'll be the only one to have it. Even Samuel and myself won't have the exact same one that you have. But that's all I'm going to say right now until it is finished, and I'll show you in a future Captain's Log. Now, I was watching the latest top 10 episode, which was released today, which is the top 10 Star Trek series intros. And me and Samuel have a good conversation back and forth in that. And I thought, while watching that, I was thinking, wouldn't it be great if we did a Captain and Commander's Q&A? That's a name that sounds good. Captain and Commander Q&A. Where we're both on screen, we both read your question, and this is specific to that show only. We both get to talk and answer your question. Is that something you guys would like to see, where we kind of bounce off each other and answer the questions, and you can get both of our feedback? If that's something you'd like to see, please let me know, and we'll arrange something sometime down the road where we can do that. We might even, I even want to do another Google Hangout sometime soon. We've done one, and like 5 people showed up for it, which was great. But you know, we'd like to be more interactive with you guys and find out what you guys like, and you know, what you enjoy about the show and things like that. So that's another option that's down the road, is another Google Hangout. But then again, if you watch the Trekyards page, you'll know all the updates that come out, because I'll do a little quick video for it, just a captain's update. And so just stay tuned. There's a lot of stay tunes in this episode. Wow. All right. Another option for that show, or another thing that we could do, is Captain versus Commander, where we each pick a debate topic to debate, and we each pick a side, and we debate about it. Now, the moral dilemmas of Star Trek. It can be anything from, you know, whether a certain ship design exists or could exist or whatever, or anything really. But it'd be Captain versus Commander, where we kind of have a debate on screen, and you guys get to enjoy that. So that's another option for a show. And lastly, in today's episode, I want to talk about, I was watching a YouTube video on a review of one of the Star Trek movies. I can't remember which one now. But Siskel and Ebert were debating whether it's Trekker or Trekkie. One of them said Trekker, and the other one's like, oh, they hate it when you say that. Or no, the one said Trekkie, and the other one said, oh, they're called Trekkers. They hate it when you call them Trekkies. No, I don't. As a matter of fact, I should be wearing my Trekkie shirt right now, because I prefer Trekkie. I don't know why that causes a rift. Trekkie was the original name for it. Gene Roddenberry insisted it was always Trekkie. Trekker sounds cool, absolutely. But I'm not offended by Trekkie, and I just wanted to get your guys' take on it. Trekker or Trekkie? The way I've heard it described in the past, Trekkie is a fan of the original series, and a Trekker is more of a fan of TNG. I don't know if that's true, but I think it's a petty thing to argue about, and I don't know why we feel the need to do so. They both work for me. I'm proud to say I'm a Trekkie or a Trekker, or just a Star Trek fan. I don't really care. And the fact that we argue about such, like, one of the things I've noticed lately on the Trekyards page is we do argue about a lot of stupid little minutia that we don't need to argue about. That is definitely 100% one of those things that we don't need to argue about. That's just dumb. We're Star Trek fans. Who cares what we call ourselves, or what we prefer to be called? Call me anything, just don't call me late for supper, and I'll be happy. And that's basically it for what I wanted to talk about today. Now I'm going to get on to your guys' questions and whatnot, and we will continue the captain's log. So if you left a question or comment and you want to hear the answer, just keep listening, watch the entire thing if you want to, or not, doesn't matter. I've kind of addressed everything I want to address right now, unless something comes up during the conversation, which it always does. So it's up to you whether you want to continue watching the video or not, but hopefully you do. And yeah, let's get right to the questions. Okay, so my iPad is dead, so I can't use it to read your questions, but I do have my computer in front of me, so if you'll excuse me, I will sit here and answer your question. Hopefully that's not too much in your face. Maybe I should tilt this up a bit. There we go. Coffee. So, Jonathan Urias. Hey, Captain. I thought my comment was okay. The commander was asked who he'd date from the Star Trek world, and I wasn't negative about it. I myself am gay and watch the show all the time. No offense was intended. And I said I wasn't referring to your question. I was referring to a comment in his last video. He asked the question about who Commander Calkins would marry, and somebody commented on the answer saying, oh, I thought you... It said, oh, you like girls. And I said, Commander Calkins isn't gay, he's British. There's a difference. That's all that was about. It wasn't your question that I was referring to. It was the comment to the question, because that was unnecessary. First of all, it doesn't matter if he was gay or not. So there's no need to comment on it, even if he was. So who cares? That's all I was saying. No offense was intended on anybody's part, so. And your question was perfectly fine. I myself would marry Jadzia, maybe. I don't know. Joshua Brown. Will you do a Fleet Yards episode on the Heart of Gold from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Maybe. There's so many sci-fi ships. Fleet Yards is definitely something that can take forever to do. All of the ships, so yeah, anything's possible. K-Shade Hyena. Where do you guys come up with your names? I'm just curious. Some of them are kind of strange. No offense, just... Two thoughts about the store idea. Seeing how Trekyards is international, would you be able to have affordable shipping in both North America and Europe, or even worldwide? Might be an issue if you're doing a monthly thing. Speaking of that, I personally don't like the random nerd stuff in a box ones, but the concept seems great for small series products. No worrying about sales or stocks, right? The way Eagle Moss does it, here at least, seems ideal to me. The focus is extremely narrow. You can get a subscription with extras, but they also sell individual issues for a bit more. Yeah, the international shipping, haven't worked all that out yet, but we'd find a way to make it reasonably affordable for everybody. Samuel is in the UK, I am in Canada, so a lot of our viewership is in the States. So, I mean, even for me to ship internationally even for me to ship in the States is international. So it'll cost a bit more. But if we have a distributor in the States, it should be fine. I got a hair sticking up. It's bothering me. There we go. So, yeah, don't worry about that. And as for the monthly subscription thing, not everybody has to subscribe to it, and we don't even know if we're doing it or what's going to be included in it. So it was just an idea that I was throwing out there. But thank you for your input, for sure. And yeah, the random stuff sometimes is annoying. I do get Nerd Block and, Sci-Fi Block now, and Loot Crate. And some months are just not good, and sometimes you get stuff you don't want, but they make great gifts for other people, or stocking stuffers at Christmas. So, look on the bright side of things. The next is from Stuart Lynn Sexton. That was a typo. Oops, sorry about that, Captain. I'm a writer and do not know the difference between canon and canon. Last time I made a big deal about canon with one N versus canon with two N's. Typos are the enemy. Perhaps I need to come up with a new race for the RPG and name them the Typonians. The Typosians. Then the Federation can go on a war against them. LOL. Anyway, Captain, the tour was rad, and I usually keep up, and as usual, keep up the good work with your captain's logs. P.S. I edited my question from the previous captain's log so that now the word canon is spelled correctly. The edit is a bit late, I know, but it's done. Cool, thank you. Yeah, and as for the tour, I didn't really think about that today. Maybe the next captain's log, there's a few other things I'd like to show you, obviously, so maybe in the next one I'll do that. Jason Verbanik. Windows 10 is fine if you're worried about privacy. I hope you do not use Facebook, Google, or Chrome, who are multiples worse. I really don't care about privacy, whatever. I have nothing to hide, so I'm not paranoid about it. I also think this channel is dangerously getting commercial with all the Patreon begging in return for content, and now it talks about merchandise. I like the videos, but if you do not want to take time to do them unless you get paid, I feel you should do fewer videos, unless you are intending to make your channel your job. In that case, say so, and it changes the dynamic. That's exactly why. We're going to make the content regardless of whether we get the Patreon money or not, and the store is just that. It's to create an extra income so that we can spend more time on this. Same with Patreon, same with our donations. Yes, we do want to make this a full-time job. That's exactly why we're doing it. And it's come to the point where I can take a little more time off of my actual job to do this, but I still need to pay the bills, and I have a family, so you can understand that we would like more money. It's not that we're begging for money, and you're not going to get videos unless we get Patreon money. That's not the way it is. We're still going to have every of our regular releases, whether you guys subscribe or donate or not. Just your donations will the more we get, the more we can make for you. Because if we can do this full time, we can afford to put more time in to bring you more videos a week, more exciting videos, more new things, more things we wanted to do all along. So yes, it's exactly the situation for the Patreon. And sorry if it sounds commercial, but we do want to make this our full-time job. This is currently what Samuel does. He doesn't have any other income besides Trekyards. Luckily, he doesn't have a lot of bills right now. Unfortunately, I do have a family and I have a lot of bills, and I do have a full-time job that I take time out of to do this. And Samuel does spend a lot more time on it because he does the editing part of it. But still, it's something that I'd like to spend more time on personally because it's more relaxing to me. It's something I really enjoy doing, and it's something that I would like to do more of. Simple as that. Daniel Collins, love this log cap. You said so yourself. You felt pretty good about it and came across relaxed and had a laugh from time to time. Also, really like the Starfleet jacket you were wearing. As always, looking forward to more episodes and what the online store might offer. I think ship-related stuff, models, and things like that would be a big hit. Same as the postage costs to Australia. Yeah, the Trek models might be something that might be offered. I know some good resin model builders and casters, and if we can get the proper licensing and whatnot, which we might be able to, we can definitely offer Star Trek ships to you guys. So that is something that we would definitely be looking into, and it would be like Trekyards exclusive for that month, our big ship of the month, and we offer a Trekyards branded model of it. That might be something that we could offer down the road, not initially, but it's something we're looking into, and it's definitely a possibility. And Darren Wagner, I have to disagree with the declaration that canon is what you make of it. The only people who get to decide what is canon are the people who own the IP, and they've made pretty clear over the years what the subject of what is canon, what isn't. Head canon is fine. Everybody has their own head canon. It's one of the best things about Star Trek. Passing off one's own head canon as canon is a mistake, however, and does a disservice to other fans. If you blatantly say this is canon because whatever reason, and you're lying about it, yes, I absolutely agree with you. But canon is what you make of it. The actual canon has made some pretty hefty mistakes just because of producers and stuff that don't understand Star Trek. And so canon, you can't take canon for being canon because they just don't know what the fuck they're doing. And yeah, but to blatantly lie and say this is canon because so-and-so, like Gene Roddenberry said it, rah, 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 rah. Okay, that's great. That's kind of lying, but whatever. Whatever you think. Trekyards, we don't say anything's canon. We just find a bunch of different information about things, slap it into a pretty interesting tale. We average out a few numbers occasionally because a lot of stuff has different sizes and in the Trek universe. It's ridiculous when you actually start researching it how much things don't make sense. But and we just put it in a very entertaining package for you guys, and you guys can decide and pick and choose what you choose to believe. So that's my take on it. Enterprise H. I was really bummed by the question limit and do not know if the questions overflow into the next video, so I did not ask a new question. But if it is a time issue, then I'm fine with just a written reply instead of a video response. I didn't know you were into women feels like a joke about how it sometimes feels like you are not allowed to be straight anymore by regressive progressives. On projectile weapons, I thought that Starfleet had regenerative phasers that worked even in dampening fields. I am far more interested in exographic targeting sensors because of how useful they seem, especially to agencies like Section 31. In fact, I asked about it on a Renegade's YouTube page because the JJ Section 31 doesn't really feel like spies. Lastly, I did not know if you looked up the BioMe concept, but here it is. It's linked for BioMe. I haven't checked it out. The Mercedes-Benz. I haven't looked it up. I'll look at it later. And the thing is about the joke, it wasn't a joke. It didn't come off as a joke. It didn't feel like a joke. It just sounded insulting. Like, oh, well, we just assume that Samuel's gay. Like, whatever. We've heard that. I've heard that a lot in comments, and it kind of pisses me off because he's a great guy, and gay or not, who gives a shit? And he's definitely not gay. I can tell you that for a fact. But yeah, just the insinuation of it, it's not needed. It's not wanted. So that's why I just kind of got offensive about it. Jason Powlett, haha, you did the same thing with the little Hot Wheels JJ prize that I did. Made the Bizarre Collector's red. It's perfect scale as a substitute for the TOS Connie against the Galoob Diecast Enterprise D. Yeah, I not only did I make the Bizarres red on my JJ Hot Wheels Connie thing, but I also bent the nacelles down so that the engines from the front are in the right position, and it just looks so much better. Just looks so much better. Dark 1810. That's some collection. Very nice indeed. Thank you. Like I said, there's a lot more to it that I need to show you guys. I just haven't got around to it yet. Jamie Rivera. Don't be a douchebag. Words to live by. Seriously. It's true. Grand Vision 4. I'm actually looking forward to watching the new series regardless of who they hire to write and produce the series. Anyway, it looks like they're getting a good team to make a great show that appeals to Trekkie's fans and attracts new viewers to the franchise. Make it so. You have a great collection. I'm jealous. Unfortunately, I don't collect merchandise because it's too expensive. However, I do have all of the series on Blu-ray and DVDs, plus a few models, novels, and magazines. I still have yet to buy the updated Star Trek Encyclopedia book. Yes, me too. Actually, I mentioned that to my wife like 2 days ago. I'm like, there's a new Star Trek Encyclopedia. My birthday's coming up. I would definitely love it. I definitely help with the research end of Trekyards. Michael and Denise Saku do a great job. So, the thing with printed encyclopedias, though, like, okay, they're going to release it, but then Beyond comes out. I think there might be stuff from Beyond in there, to be honest. But then the new series is coming out, so it's already obsolete. Makes sense to have an online one, but I don't know. I love having a book. I love leafing through a book. Commander Hotel. I very much enjoyed the Galaxy cameo. I broke it. Galvers. Really? I like those. Sorry. Damn. I really like those logs. One end, and I already can't wait for the next one. One ends, and I already can't wait for the next one. Thank you, Captain, for showing your that Stingray. I like it a lot. And the other ships, I recognize it without any problem. The Acula class, so many times I see. I did sever its upper nacelle with a Disruptor Barrage in Klingon Academy. It was a tough ship for sure. For the next Captain's Log, I want to ask for the USS Foley battle group. Ultimately, it's a dreadnought. It's a dreadnought. Leader of the task force. What other ships are in that group, or which ones do you think would fit in? P.S. He's not gay. He's British. Priceless. This Foley battle group. I haven't really figured that out yet. The final design for the Foley is not complete yet. Cal is working on that, and then once that's done, we're going to get a 3D model of it built, and we will do an episode on it eventually. But yeah, I don't know what would be in the battle group. I'd have to think about that. A couple of Connies, some Saladins, TOS style Mirandas. Don't know. Could be anything. Corey Wallace, great Captain's Log, Captain. I like the explanation regarding the Dreadnought's rear sensor transmitter, since the Dreadnought is the coordinating craft in the battle group that belongs to. It needs a dedicated transmitter. If all the ships are coordinating maneuvers through it, it needs expanded capacity and bandwidth, so all the ships can communicate through it and to it simultaneously. Additionally, this could serve as a real-time uplink to Starfleet Command, allowing for real-time fleet positions, conditions, and sensor readings of all battleground ships to be relayed simultaneously. Thanks for the great work. Keep it up. I love all those additions to that. Thank you very much about the real-time fleet positions and stuff. That's definitely very cool, and that's exactly what I think it would be used for. So the whole "it's a deflector" is really not cool. JMT, good show, and thank you for your opinion on whether Star Trek is military. As I'm in the mod, I look at Star Trek sometimes and really wish it was more about exploring. Don't get me wrong, I love Star Trek more than any other show ever. It goes Star Trek, all of them, then Top Gear. Oh, I love Top Gear. As long as it's the British one with, well, they're not going to be on anymore. Jeremy Clark, James May, and Richard Hammond. There we go. Yeah, love Top Gear. The American one was but anyway, yeah, good. I totally get the defense thing as well, and you're right. It's more important to be ready for the unknown. I think what wound me up was JJ's take on the dress uniform, which looked like something that they'd taken from the Army or Air Force. This then led me to the amount of battles that go on. Don't get me wrong, I love a good space battle. But as said in Insurrection, do you remember when we used to be explorers? Once again, good show. I'm loving the weekly Trek. It's totally radical. And apologies for my spelling. Dyslexic. Yeah, no problem. I sometimes have dyslexic bouts too. Yeah, and it's true. The exploration of Star Trek is the heart of Star Trek. Absolutely, 100%. But to take away the military aspect and to say that there's no reason for them to have a militaristic stance on things is ludicrous, to say the least. So, but yeah, they need a little bit more exploring in Star Trek. Hopefully the new series will definitely cover that. Joseph Apset. Oh, and about the projectile weapons. The reason they are not used in Star Trek is because Starfleet sees phasers as more of a humane, as they can stun and are not as painful as and crippling. Good point. I talked about adding projectile weapons to their phasers and stuff. But yeah, you're absolutely right. That's exactly why they have the energy-based weapons. I like that. Then there's a little bit of back and forth conversation on that. If I ever reference something or the question doesn't sound right when I read it, you can always go back to my last captain's log and read the questions for yourself. Because sometimes I misread it because I'm going too fast. I want to wrap things up, and I stumble, and I apologize. And there's other things where there's little conversations going on based on the question, and I don't want to get into it all. So you can check them out on my previous captain's log if you so desire. The next one is Kuromas. Wow, nice original Connie behind you. Which one? This one? That's my Space Seed one. That one is the Defiant from the ISS Defiant from Inamir Darty. And this is my Franklin Mint Pewter Enterprise. And if you like this one, look, Kirk is all shocked and but if you like this one, I did a review on it. So just type in Trekyards, Franklin Mint Enterprise, or that should bring it up, or Enterprise Review. I've got all of the pewter ships most of the pewter ships from Franklin Mint, Star Trek wise. So check those reviews out if you're interested. Next is from MK the Donut. Did you two ever consider to do a video with the guys from the upcoming Star Trek Excalibur game? There's not really a special ship to talk about, but it would be really awesome to introduce the game to people who haven't heard something of it. Yeah, we would definitely be open to that kind of thing. We love introducing our fans to new ships and new shows, new fan series, new games. So we contact anybody we can think of to be on the show, and so far, like 97% of the people we've contacted have said yes, and we're in the talks with people that we haven't even introduced yet. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot to stay tuned for, and that's something we would definitely consider, absolutely. So thank you for the suggestion. Ebenezer 1690, hey Captain, I've said it once, and I've said it twice, and I'll say it again. You need to figure out how you can read some of the old Star Trek paperbacks. I would love to hear it. Thanks. Really? That just sounds like sarcasm. I don't think I have a nice voice, but if you do, that's awesome. I'd love to be a voice narrator. That'd be kind of cool. I do kind of stumble over things a lot, so I would need to read it a few times probably. So thank you. It's a compliment. Maybe I'll read clips down the road. Who knows? USS Arkansas. FASA. Cool. FASA starships. Go Andor class, Decker class, and Alamo class defense outpost. Yeah, the FASA episode was a huge hit, although everybody was yelling at us that we didn't pick the Chandley class. I think it's Shanley. We picked what we liked. So if we didn't pick it, don't yell at us saying, "What? You didn't pick this one." Well, yeah, we didn't because it's not our favorite. It's your favorite. So thank you for sharing that. But don't give us hell for not picking it. Mm. Thomas Clark. Hey, Captain, a Trekyards ID membership card would be cool. Hey, there's a good idea. I think if we do the store and we do the monthly subscription thing, we definitely have a Star Trek subscriber card thing. Like my G.I. Joe. Got my official G.I. Joe membership card up there from the 80s with my name like typewritten on it. Yeah, that'd be neat. Marcus, he's British, not gay. Okay, that was hilarious. Not that sexual preference matters in any way, shape, or form in regards to being entertaining or in a sense of education. Also off topic, but maybe those compact ships don't need a deflector the same way the warp-capable shuttles have one. So it's possible about the shape of the warp bubble itself needs no extra deflector on them, but instead the bubble itself deflects things around the ships. Yeah, that's exactly what I suggested. Maybe in regards to a patch, some sort of campaign patch or something, would fit the funding idea for specific things too. We actually have a few patches developed for Star Trek or for Trekyards. So yeah. And as for the smaller ships not needing deflectors, we've gone into this ad nauseum. I get sick of seeing questions about deflectors on Trekyards page now. We figure that the bigger ships with the actual deflector on the front, it's a long-range deflector. There is a deflector grid built into the saucer, the edge of the saucer. Those are the sensor bands and the deflector grid. So yeah, we just figure that the lower profile of ships like the Miranda and whatnot don't necessarily need such a long-range deflector to deflect matter out of the way because they're much lower profile than the bigger ships. So yeah, and as for the shuttles, well, shuttles are entering atmospheres, they're entering different anomalies, so it makes perfect sense to have a little deflector on the front of those just to scatter things out of the way because they're going through more environments than a starship would. So Empyrean Frost. I was wondering, what do you think is the ugliest FASA or Starfleet battleship? That's a good question. I can't really decide right now. There are some really hideous ones, and I don't have them in front of me at the moment, unfortunately. So I can't really say. And the Klingon B-10, it's an amazing ship. It's an amazing concept. The history behind it is amazing, but it's a damn ugly ship. And I intend to do an episode of Trekyards on that, whether Samuel likes it or not. We're going to do a B-10 episode because that ship has the most amazing history and design story and everything, and it's something that would have made the Klingon Empire very dangerous. But yeah, I'm not going to get into why they didn't build it or whatnot. That'll be for the episode. So if you guys like the B-10 from Starfleet Battles and you know what I'm talking about, you know that it's ugly. But anyway. So I don't know. I can't answer that question. I apologize. Gunnerman, I've looked and looked for that poll you talked about. I just can't seem to find it. Yeah, it's on the Trekyards page. It keeps floating to the top eventually if somebody like comments on it. Maybe we'll post another one soon. Like I said, once we have our shirt designs and stuff, we will put those up there so you guys can get a look at what we have to offer and get some demographics and stuff on what people are interested in and sizes and whatnot so that we can do an initial batch. So stay tuned. Jasus, any plans to do more Trekyards episode on the various bridges of Trek? I really love the Enterprise D episode with Larry Nemeczek way back, and would love to see other bridges get their own shows. Keep up the great work. Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely plans to do more bridges. We've actually got one filmed with Andrew Probert about designing the Enterprise D bridge. So stay tuned for that. Again, we have a lot of stuff filmed with both Rick, Andrew, even John. So that are just, they're slated for release down the road. They haven't even been edited yet because we've got so much content filmed right now for the big episodes. The top 10s and stuff we have to do more frequently because we just burn through those pretty quick. But yeah, there's a lot coming up. But yes, absolutely, bridges are on the hit list, so don't worry. Analysis of Sci-Fi says, it's hard to define militarism. A lot of astronauts and cosmonauts are in fact military officers attached to the respective space agencies. Maybe in the Trek universe, the ideal of ranks carries over to civil space agencies. Just a thought. As for Starfleet ships having weapons, for self-defense is one reason for defending. There's one reason, but defending civilians has always been a duty of Starfleet, so they need to have the ships armed. Sorry for my bad grammar. Yeah, self-defense and for defending civilians or helpless people that can't defend themselves, absolutely. So to not have weapons and say that Starfleet shouldn't have weapons is just silly. Intrepid the Genuine. I haven't been keeping up with anything related to the new show. My hope is that the new show ignores everything from Enterprise and the JJ verse. Glad to hear it was set in the Prime universe. Well, it's a rumor, but it's a very likely rumor, which is the only Trek universe in my view. As to what the premise is, I really don't care as long as it's well written and consistent with Prime universe canon. I would be a little concerned about the idea of time traveling too much. There's way too much of it, and I would rather they do something else. Anyways, thanks for the latest episode. Your collection is awesome. Thank you. And yeah, time traveling is kind of overdone in Trek, but it's a great plot device, and I think it would make for an excellent series, personally. Joseph Bryant, I agree. We shouldn't be too judgmental about the new series. I always say the same about Renegades. It wasn't the greatest pilot in the world, but out of the 5 Star Trek series, only Voyager and Enterprise had what I would call a strong start, even though TNG was one of my favorites. On another note, have you seen Star Trek Horizon yet? If so, what do you think? Well, let's address a few of these things. First of all, Renegades, first viewing, you watch it 2 or 3 more times, and you start to follow the plot a bit better. It's actually not that overly bad, and I suggest everybody watch it at least 3 times. As for Star Trek Horizon, of course we have. We've actually had Tommy Kraft as a guest on Trekyards. He's talked about Horizon before it was released. So there's a video, type in Trekyards, Tommy Kraft, and you'll find the announcement video for him. We do want to speak with him in the future about some of the special stuff he created for Horizon, so that's definitely something that's coming up. And yes, Horizon was an excellent movie. There's some great battle scenes with the NX class, which is back there. And great show, great movie. He did a fantastic job. Hugh, 1971. Hi, Cap. I came late to Trekyards. Sorry about that. I tried to catch up and found the DS9 episode was deleted. DS9 episode was deleted. We had to take one down, but we replaced it with the exact same one, just with 1 or 2 minor changes. I'll have to look into that. If you can give me the episode number, that would be great. And then Sky commented, I have internet. I can finally catch up on Trekyards. Oh my lord. She was without Trekyards for a while. I think she was going crazy. For some reason I can't find the poll, but I would definitely want to buy a shirt and some patches, and especially a coffee mug. Just an FYI, the military development of Starfleet definitely made projectile weapons. For example, the sniper that Ezra uses in Deep Space Nine. Yeah, I mentioned that, the TR-116, in my last conversation. I feel like the Makos of the same era probably use stuff like that, because they don't forget, we don't ever see the ground forces in anything other than Enterprise, so what we see is just basic defense weapons aboard the starships. Interesting. They're not tactical assault weapons. That's true. Carmelo Ailman, or Mellotron. Greetings, Captain. I've been discussing with one of my friends about the possible business idea, but I wasn't sure if it violated copyright laws for CBS and Paramount. He just acquired a very expensive 3D printer. I suggested, why don't we make 3D models roughly the size of the Micro Machines die-cast of all the ships in Star Trek? All the ships in the Star Trek universe, and including the other universes like Stargate and Star Wars, and sell them on eBay at a reasonable price. Any thoughts on that idea? And somebody commented, give ships away, no profit, no infringement. Just charge heaps for the bubble wrap and packaging. And the printing time. And materials. Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. Don't quote me on that, though. I don't know. Be interesting. Ebenezer 1690, Captain, I wish you would start reading some of the Star Trek novels. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Your voice works. Again, thank you very much. I'm one of those people, I have low self-esteem, so every time I hear a compliment like that, I always think that it's sarcasm, but thank you. USS Arkansas. On the Dreadnought, look at these blueprints. The aft scanner array, it is an aft scanner array. I'm not going to click the links, but you guys can if you want to go to the comments. Look for USS Arkansas's comment. Mark Plot. Enterprise, rent a ship. We'll beam you up. That's actually really funny. Wake Roberts, dear God, the captain drinks a pureed red shirts with his breakfast. I couldn't agree with you more on the uniforms. The Wrath of Khan uniforms and the TNG movie uniforms were the most uniform of all the variations we've seen through the last 50 years. This week's question. Do you subscribe to the idea that Starfleet is the Federation's only defensive, aka military organization? As always, keep up the good work. I would say that Starfleet is Starfleet and Section 31, if you believe in Section 31. Yeah, I'd say they're the only branch of defense. Would be my guess, anyway. And there's a little conversation that's generated because of that there. So, Sherman, I'm not going to get into it though. Moving to the next one. Shermanter 1989. Frankly, after the JJ films and the lawsuit against Axanar, I'd rather keep my expectations for the new series very low. I want it to be great and fix some of the problems 2009 Trek created, but I prefer to be pleasantly surprised than disappointed. I didn't like that Meyer made Starfleet more militaristic, but that's not what it's supposed to be about. It can be converted to be more militaristic setup in wartime, but only then. So I hope he remembers or is reminded that Starfleet is at its core about exploration and research. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Okay, I can see that. I can see that point of view. I think he'll do a fantastic job. Meyer's a good guy. Van Barlingen. Those micro machines still have some stored away memories. Yeah, I've got boxes full of micro machines, most of them still in the package. Thank you to my friend Noel for that. Joseph Apset. Something I have realized while rewatching Star Trek II is that Kirk breaks Starfleet general order as when clear communications between another Starfleet ship is not available, the given ship must raise its shields and go to yellow alert. However, when the Defiant approaches Kirk, he put Defiant, but he means Reliant. However, when the Reliant approaches, Kirk does not order the ship to go to yellow alert. So, bad Kirk. True. That's a good point. That also creates a little bit of a conversation there. And just about 4 or 5 more comments and we'll be finished. James Dietz. What do you guys think about maybe selling model kits for certain ships? Perhaps your faves and the store you're thinking about starting? Well, I've already kind of addressed that. And yes, as long as we can get the proper licensing and whatnot, which shouldn't be too much of a problem, we might be able to do that. It might take time because like the ships have to be created and whatnot. But like I said, I have a bunch of talented people as friends who would be willing to help in that regard. So, and they would be Trekyards branded original ships. So that'd be kind of cool. Captain Lukiwa. Hope you have had fun writing the NSEA Protector. Absolutely we did. Learned a lot about it too, actually. So that Romulan female dressing is less PG than the revealing Star Trek Online Vulcan or the Orion Women pictures? Yep. With Meyer and Rod Wesley on board for the new Trek TV series, Ostovakor, yeah, it has my faith 100%, good or bad. For my non-Mirror Universe 20th Century Alternate Timeline, my Federation developed a program named SF Kinetic Weapons Program. The listing for kinetics weapons are pistols, SMG, AR Sniper Hybrid, and Shotgun, all of which depend on the mission for an away team. I thought about regular Starfleet officers using pistols as backup, specialists such as the reinstated Mako organization that would go in a 1 or 2 man woman assault team in case of emergency dampening fields or areas. But the primary use for the larger kinetic weapons would be against the Borg or similar species. Closing comment. I never thought, or perhaps didn't realize, that Peter Weller's Admiral Marcus is or was Section 31, and I love Section 31 with their mysterious origin and cloak and dagger kind of missions. Yeah, I don't know if Section 31 is very Star Trek, but yeah, I don't mind them. I think they add an interesting aspect to Star Trek. I'm not sure Roddenberry would have approved of that, but next is from Irdofestums, IRDOFSTSRMS. No Star Trek cookie cutters? Question mark. Would rather see the new series take place in the TOS era, more of an epic format instead of episodic. Maybe an entire season dedicated to one mission, mystery, or event. Change ships each season and cruise. Actually shows the fleet in Starfleet. Star Trek First Contact, Picard using a Tommy gun against the Borg. Yeah, I think a season-long mission arc would be amazing, and then a different ship every season. I think I would definitely be on board for that. I think that'd be the way to go. The next two are from the same person, so it's just basically one. This is from Kharkov. Okay, collection is amazing. Thanks for sharing. I do have a question for you. How do you get all the amazingly rad LCARS displays on your iPads and computer screens? I would kill to get some of those for my iPhone and laptop. Please let me know. By the way, I'm looking forward to the Trekyards online store. Oh, and remember, good customers are almost as rare as Latinum. Treasure them. Rule of acquisition number 57. The LCARS I've discussed numerous, many, a lot times. Most of them are old screensavers that I've downloaded over the years from various sites. A lot of them are from Adam Maurice, I think is his name. Yeah, Adam Maurice does a lot of them. He did this TOS one behind me, so you can download that. Most of them are Flash animations. A lot of them are Flash animations I got from different websites that I converted into screensavers, so you can create them into an executable file where you click it and it installs it as a screensaver. This one over here is a YouTube listing of a bunch of LCARS animations that I've just got in a playlist, and I just shuffle it. There's also, you can go to where's the website? I can't find it right now, which is strange to me. There's a website, LCARS. Oh, there it is. lcars.org.uk. And there you can find a ton of Flash animations where you can use as you need to. But yeah, that's the answer to that question. So anyway, guys, that's it for this Captain's Log. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you're looking forward to the next one, because I'm probably going to show off more of my collection in that one. And I look forward to talking to you all very soon. As I said, tonight I'm going to see Batman versus Superman. So expect a review of these figures soon. And that, if you're interested in Superman and Batman, which pretty much everybody kind of is, I think. Anyways, that is it for me. This is Captain Foley signing off until next time. Bye, guys.